Hello guys and welcome back to Zola's Lab 2. So it is Thursday, January 25th of 2024, and as you can see, the Winter Luau 2024 has begun for Zola's Lab 2. Now you may notice this is being filmed a lot later compared to the Zola's Lab 3 version. This one took slightly longer, as unlike that one, this one is like completely original, as that one was what the 2023 version was meant to look like. This one is like a full-on present-day version of like this concept. So, with all that being said, let's jump automatically right into it. Kicking things off, we have this gigantic sign here that says Icy Luau, because that is exactly what this party is. An icy-themed version of the Winter Luau, which is what we saw in Zola's Lab 3. But again, remember, that's what that was supposed to look like a year ago. So that made sense. Now, why it is here is because I wanted to do it again. But be a little more creative this time around, I think. Anyway, the sign looks very cool, as you can see. And the rest of the outside here, as you can see, also looks freaking amazing. To clarify how long this took. $6 hours. Almost exactly, ironically. In like 2 minutes, actually. Ironically, in like 2 minutes, it'll be like exactly 6 hours since I started this. So yeah, this took much longer. Anyway. With that said, this all looks very cool, and we already have our first item, the ice skates. Let's put those on. And now, as you can see, we now have the ability to ice skate. And also, more importantly, you freaking guessed it, have the ability to, of course, change basically everything into pure ice. Of course, with it melting over time. Now that we have this item out of the way, the current party is, of course, the Winter Luau 2024 from January 25th to February 1st. So it's a week long, like last time. And the next party in the next 2 weeks is the Valentine's Day party of 2024 from February 8th to the 15th. So it's ironically going to be our earliest Valentine's Day party ever, actually. That's actually insane. It's like the exact same length as the Legos Island one from 2019. Except that one did end up staying up a day longer because I forgot to clean it up on the 15th. But unlike that party, 5 years later, I'll actually make sure to clean it up on the 15th. And this is for Zola's Lab 2. The Legos Island one is actually on Valentine's Day itself. And it's only like 3 days. But regardless, now that we have that out of the way as well, this is what the rest of the outside looks like. It looks very cool and very, very icy. And I'm surprised that didn't get updated. You know, you'd think I would update that, but apparently not. But yeah, that's really it for the outside. Let's move on to the inside. Fun fact about the roof. I literally did that right before recording because I realized that was like one of the only rooms that I did not decorate yet. So, as you can see, we have Mr. Sheet. Looks very cool. And here's the lab office itself. Looks very, very cool. And unlike last year, none of the lights are off because I mentioned that that was not going to be a thing again. That was only a one-time thing. That's actually true because as you can clearly tell a year later, that is not the case where they are off again. So yeah, you could tell that was only a one-time thing. But anyway, this looks very cool. And yeah, you can even see the basement from here. That looks freaking cool. Actually, you can ironically see a lot of things from some of these rooms. Like, for example, if we head up to the flower shop, we have our second item, January 26th. So that's cool. But what I'm trying to refer to is, you can see the flower shop, and you see the ice part of this. You may notice you can see elements of the lab office from here. Of course, because of some of the lights, I had to change it to packed ice because it melted. But you may notice we can see parts of the lab office from up here, which is very cool, and is why I added that in as extra detail. As for the room itself, outside of those fun little, you know, secrets and details, The rest of the room looks very, very cool. And actually, this, and this right over here was also added in last minute before filming because I realized nothing was over here. Anyway, Fire Sheep really must be enjoying it. So that's pretty cool. And that also can explain why this is an item to make up for this. Actually, fun fact, I think these were actually like this last year, I think, actually, for the Winter Luau. So I brought it back again because it looked cool. Alright, as for the roof itself, let's head on up. So it actually works for once. I swear, man, this thing never works unless it actually has to. Oh, it really just doesn't decide to work on the outside either. Okay, that's a problem. Like I just stated, though, the roof was decorated literally right before recording this video. I'm, like, not kidding. And you can clearly tell it was, because there's not really much here. I'm not even kidding. I was literally about to start filming the video, and then I realized the roof wasn't updated. Yep, that's actually not a joke. So I quickly went up here and put in some trees. At least it's something. And that's it, considering that's literally all there is for that room. Now we're going to move on to the backyard next. As you can see, this looks so freaking cool. And as promised, I would bring the pool back. But now, as you may notice, it is frozen, mainly because of the ice theme. Up here, we have some chairs and tables, mainly for the heck of it. Although, actually, you know what would look even cooler with this? Alright, just gotta make sure this works. Yeah, it works, okay. The reason I do this is because they act like cups. So, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I mainly did that because why not? But no, seriously though, this has to be one of my personal favorite rooms in this party. And honestly, I don't think you can blame me. Fun fact, there was actually an item, ironically, right here in the previous year's Winter Luau. But as you can tell, that's not the case this time. But yeah, you can tell this is completely different compared to the first Winter Luau last year. Now that we have the backyard out of the way, let's move on to the actual downstairs itself. Assuming I can get through here. Project Souls Lab 2 is not updated. Actually, ironically speaking, the meeting room is also not updated if you don't count the ice. The sheep rooms are also not updated, but I wasn't planning to anyway. And you know, maybe we could change this back. Yeah, that room's gonna remain undecorated. Just like the sheep rooms. Anyway, there are some items that I just straight up could not come up with yet. So, by the next time we're here, all of these will be here. Just to clarify though, I still have to think of what items I want to put into this. So that's why some of them aren't here. But this one in particular for January 28th, that's already in there. But yeah, some items I'm still going to think of what I want to do for them. So that's why certain ones will not have like an item on it. But this is January 27th, and over here, again, is January 28th. With back there not being updated. But normally that doesn't get updated unless it's like an anniversary or something. Or, you know, Christmas or Halloween. Actually, yeah. Since we're already heading down here anyway. Alright, and here is the underground party room. I knew I forgot to change the beacon. Much better! Now this room's complete. Well, pretty much at least. I felt like keeping the dance floor the same because, hey, we don't need to change it every single time. Regardless, the room looks like this, which is honestly super freaking cool. And down here is not updated, unlike the last two parties, being the Christmas and Zolzab anniversaries, respectively. There's meant to be an item over here, but as you can see, I have not had the time to implement it yet. And in here is surprisingly updated. Like, surprisingly. But this is, like, the only thing to be updated in here. Nothing else beyond that. And, heck, even the clothes shop isn't even updated. So, yeah, there's definitely some rooms that are not updated. But that's as expected, though, because not every single room needs to be updated. Plus, also, it's already going to take a while to clean up anyway. Mainly, regardless, that wraps up this room. It honestly looks so freaking cool. And with all that being said, we're going to get out of here now, considering we have no more reason to be in here. And in here, the TV and game room is also updated for this party, which mainly looks like this, which is honestly so freaking cool. Alright, so let's continue. But truly though, these rooms do look pretty cool. Also, I am going through these slightly fast because some of these rooms don't have extremely too much to go through. Should probably update that with the current map setup. There we go. Oh yeah, perfect opportunity for me to show you what this looks like. As it does look like this. It honestly looks so cool. As for the library itself, we do have librarian sheep in here as well, which is pretty cool. And yes, even the HQ is updated. Well, mainly the HQ lobby. The HQ itself is not updated. But I'll get to that in a minute, though. Here again is the library. It looks very, very freaking cool. Like, holy frick. It did not need to look this good. And yeah, I know, there's no ice down there, but who cares? Regardless, though, I really wasn't kidding when I said that this was going to be an icy-themed luau. Because as you can tell, that's not a joke. And as I again previously stated, down there is not updated, so we're not going down there. But the HQ lobby does look really freaking cool. So yeah, what do you guys think? Actually, you know what? I feel like adding in one more of these. I feel this isn't complete without it. Yeah, that makes more sense. Now this room feels complete. Alright, next up is Snowland. And by the way, much like the flower shop and lab office, we can see various things from here, which is really freaking cool. So, that's really cool. You can see various things from here. Going into Snowland. This is how it looks. It looks very cool. And yes, there is an item in here, just like last year, except it is located differently, being here in this chest, but it doesn't unlock until January 30th. As for the room itself, this is how it looks. It honestly looks really freaking cool. And it is now back to a more traditional Snowland event design because the previous year reused the Big Brother Season 6 backyard design from 2018, but with some slight luau elements. But as you can tell, this year it is back to a more traditional Snowland design for an event. So, that's pretty cool. And that's genuinely it for this whole room. To also clarify, down there is not updated. Alright, we only got at least one more room in this party, and then we are done. I'm not even freaking kidding, guys. Remember how I said the ice maze would be returning? Well, it did. Completely different. Yeah, did you really think I was going to bring back the original from 2022's Christmas party? God, no. It's been like a year and 1 month since that. And I wanted to actually be creative this time. And you bet I sure was. This was one of the longest things that took me to do. That's actually not a joke. This did take a while to actually, actually make it look cool and also slightly difficult. To purposely clarify, I will show you the overview of it. And by the way, Sparkles is already down there for some reason. But, you can see that, yeah, it's a maze. And we have Goldie up here, surprisingly. I'm gonna need you to move out of the way, buddy. Oh, guess he wants to go that way, apparently. Oh yeah, that's a good way to show you the overview. But yeah, going over here, we can see there's another section. But before we do that, here's what it actually looks like, overviewing it. That looks very cool. Anyway, let's see what the inside of the maze looks like. Which, this part in particular, the inside part, that's what took forever. I mean, the outside part, I didn't really take too long on it. The inside, on the other hand, is what took me forever, because I wanted to actually make it look cool, and also slightly difficult. Much like the outside, I will also give a little overview of what this actually looks like. And as we can see, Sparkles is already at the end of the maze, which, ironically speaking, we can already find her right here, and also the end of the maze, which there is no item here yet because I didn't have the time to create it, and because I'm still thinking of what items to release in this party. And yes, we do again have the ice skates on, which is pretty cool. And we're just gonna let all that melt. Anyway, that is very cool, and here's what it actually looks like. You may notice there are two ways you can take in this maze. You can either go the way we just went, which is right here in particular, or you can also go another way in particular, where this way right here is also presented as well. It'll still give you to the exact same location, just slightly longer. Actually, I think that's the shorter path for the two. I think this is the longer path. And I think they're pretty much equal. Regardless. Okay, Goldie's just there for some reason. I guess he wants to go down there, apparently. Anyway, guys, that wraps up this party. And we will be back in about a week to showcase the items, like the day or two before the party ends. So do look out for that. And with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you think this is any better than the previous year? I'd love to hear it in the comments. Until next time, goodbye.